Well, that was quick. Congratulations. Incredible, great news. Shockingly great news as we start the new morning as the president orders Steve Mnuchin to restart stimulus negotiations. Yes, they're back underway. Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Morning LALATE, and a really incredibly great news of morning events this morning across the board with stimulus negotiations back on and a lot of other details in a day in which it's absolutely freezing here. As you can see, I'm in a sweater. It's also incredibly dark and foggy, hence the strange colorization in this video. But go to the Photos channel and subscribe because this will be the most exciting video you're going to have to start the new morning. And also like this video. In this video, there is so much breaking news. It is all generally good with the exception of COVID details I'm going to be getting to shortly. So boy, get ready for some great stuff this morning. One, negotiations are back on. Second, jobless claims, not good, but maybe pushing the stimulus negotiations. Third, false hope for piecemeal. That's what Wall Street's asking. Fourth, next, debt and debate. Is the president going to be doing the debate? Additional, a new question about asymptomatic COVID-19 patients. Stuff we have never heard about before. After that, details about savings and why consumer spending may be a little bit more problematic this holiday season. Additionally, after that, airlines are speaking out about what's happening today. Then, hazard pay. New hazard pay coming from LOEWS. And finally, Purple Power delegates. They're announced in this video, so you need to stay to the end because you can find out how you can be a Purple Power delegate and how you can find someone to help you as well. All right, let me get to the breaking news minutes ago. I'm going to go a little bit out of order because this thing happened first before the president's announcement, and that's why I think you need to hear this announcement first. The first item that hit today was the jobless claims. Guess who told you that they were going to be worse than expected? I did yesterday, and it was a warmer day and I didn't need a sweater. Well, it's really cold today, and it's even colder on Wall Street because these numbers were not good. First-time jobless claims came in at 840,000, and Wall Street was expecting 825. That's not even really close. Claims have now remained above 800,000 every single week since March. There's now 25.5 million people who are getting unemployment benefits. This is really not good. Continuing claims continue to be very high. They're at 9.8 million people. Again, these are jobless claims, new jobless claims, people newly going on benefits this week. This is not a good number. It's not a good number. And with the announcement of that number came this. President Donald Trump on Thursday said stimulus negotiations are back on. 24 hours, well, was it 24 or is it 48 hours? It feels just like it was yesterday. Within minutes after calling off the negotiations, either yesterday or the day before, the president said, no, we're going back in. We're, quote, starting to have some very productive talks yesterday. When? I shut down the talks 2 days ago because they weren't working out, said the president on Fox Morning News this morning. Now they're starting to work out. We're starting to have some productive talks. I said, look, we're not getting anywhere. When referred to what happened 2 days ago, he said, look, we're not getting anywhere. Shut it down. I don't want to waste time. But in any event, we got back. Both sides very capable. We got back. We started talking again. And we're talking about airlines. And we're talking about a bigger deal than airlines. We're talking about a deal with $1,200 per person. We're talking about other things. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. A couple takeaways from that. First, yeah, you did hear that sentence, $1,200 for every person. Does that mean dependents will get a full stimulus check? Come on, Mr. President. Let's do it. Everyone gets $1,200. Let's do it. Nancy, you originally had it. Why did you take it out of your deal? Let's do it. $1,200 for dependents, minor dependents, whether you're on SSDI, SSI, or Social Security, or railroad benefits. Everyone had originally done that. Let's go back and spend a little bit more money to give everyone $1,200. I think they deserve it, don't you? If you are a married couple, $2,400. Family of five, it would be $6,000. Come on, let's do it. Next, he said that chats yesterday were very productive. What chats? Now, you can take this two ways. Either he doesn't know what he's talking about again, or that Steve and Nancy talked a little bit more than they've told us, and they have done that before, where they talk more than they're actually informing the press. I told you yesterday that Steve and Nancy had chats, not negotiations, but maybe she had a really nice hairstyle, and the negotiations went longer than expected. Well, maybe not. Next one. False hopes for piecemeal. Wall Street is giving stark warnings. This is as soon as the president made the announcement this morning, Wall Street went up 100 points, the Dow Jones. Well, some naysayers said, hold up. You're getting a little too optimistic about stimulus actually arriving as opposed to stimulus talks happening. John Briggs, head of strategy at NatWest, I'm surprised that everyone's all bowled up, meaning excited, about it again. Another person, Tom Lee, stimulus isn't going to happen. It's just that the timing is not. Oh, excuse me, I read the sentence wrong. Stimulus isn't not going to happen. It's just that the timing is not that clear. And that's a situation where the market's going to be able to look through it ultimately. Now, before I turn to the next point, this is my opinion, and this is very important to take away. My opinion is the president saw the Purple Power's reaction and backtracked. My opinion is the president also understood that the economic numbers are not good. My opinion is the president sees there's only 26 days before the election and he's down 10 percentage points in the polls. My opinion is the president needs to pull a rabbit out of the hat and needs to do something very big, very bold, and very dramatic. And notice that he made the announcement on Fox News. He didn't slide it into a tweet. He didn't slide it into a Facebook post. He made a very splashy announcement about this on Fox News. Ultimately, this is exactly what Nancy Pelosi doesn't want. She doesn't want the president taking credit for stimulus, but that's what the president's trying to do. And it may be the only real big thing to give him a push into the final minutes of the election. However, I need you to understand that people still are cautious that this is political theater, and that the president is very in touch with Wall Street and Wall Street trading, and he understands that if Wall Street trades up, if stocks trade up, he's more likely to be reelected. Well, stocks trading up doesn't mean you're getting stimulus. It just means stocks are trading up. And so ultimately, he may be trying to push a narrative just to get Wall Street happy, but not actually give you stimulus. That's the purpose of the Purple Power. Push, push, push. And this as well. Next point. Trump won't debate. Announced also this morning. The president says he will not debate in the next debate. What happened was the second debate, of course, scheduled always by the Bipartisan Commission on Presidential Debates, said it would be remote virtual debating. The president said, hogwash, what the hell is virtual debating? I'm not doing that. He says, I don't think I'm contagious. His exact words on Fox News. I don't think I'm contagious. I can debate in person. Well, they said, you have to do it virtually, Mr. President. He says, well, I'm not showing up. So I guess that debate's off. Next, 80% of people with COVID-19 may not know they have COVID-19. A new shocking report out of the UK says that 80% of people everywhere, including the United States, may be walking around with COVID-19 and be asymptomatic but not know it. This is what they call the silent spreader, which I've been talking about for a very long time on this channel. The people may actually never exhibit COVID-19 symptoms. They have COVID-19, but they don't exhibit it, and they may be walking around with COVID in their system. A new report says it could be 80% of people may have it in this situation as well. This additionally comes as well from news reports out of Germany. Germany says that the current situation worries me a lot. This is ahead of the Robert Koch Institute of Infectious Diseases. He says that the next few weeks in at least Germany could be rapid, out of control spreading of COVID like we have never, ever seen before. It's that type of concern that people now worry if there's going to be a real big onslaught in the United States in a couple months. Additionally, here's another point. This is really interesting, and I know a lot of you have used up your savings. A lot of you are either homeless or about to become homeless. But a new report from Morgan Stanley says don't write off retail this holiday season because a lot of people have not spent a lot of money because they have been locked in their homes and have just not spent a lot of money. And so they say that there may be a savings buffer for some people. Again, I don't necessarily subscribe to this analysis. I'm just telling you what they're reporting. Additionally, airlines now report that there was 43 airlines that have failed in 2020 so far compared to 46 last year and 56 the year before. But they think that this could be the worst year for airlines to implode if stimulus is not done. This is a new report out this morning from Cerium. Finally, hazard pay from LOEWS. LOEWS is announcing that it's launching what could be called basically hazard pay. It's offering $100 million in more in bonuses to hourly employees who are working in mid-October. And this is amid the news that it's doing very well, and it's very thankful for those frontline workers. If only other companies could do the same. And who else is a frontline worker? Well, I guess you could call Travis Scott a frontline worker because the power of the push, whether it's purple or Travis Scott, is apparently working. McDonald's reported same-store sales minutes ago and show the numbers were absolutely through the roof, up 5% as people ate more Big Macs and McNuggets for dinner, and they say this was a result of a Travis Scott deal. They said that the popularity of Scott's $6 meal, which included a quarter pounder of cheese and favorite toppings, may have been the reason why so many people went to McDonald's. It's an exciting morning, and you can see everything that's across the board. How much stimulus could you get? What is the stimulus? What is on the table? What are the subjects of negotiations? Let me go over them right now. As Steve and Nancy restart much of what they, I guess, didn't really stop, Steve had stopped at $1.7 trillion. It's a little bit higher than the Problem Solvers bill, but it's a little bit contracted from the Problem Solvers bill. Nancy was at $2.2 trillion. They're $0.5 trillion apart. That's not close. That's not close. The problems that I have always seen is that the parties are not changing on numbers. Ultimately, you can think of this in a opportunistic way. The president is behind in the polls. The president's back is against the wall. The president needs to pull a hat out of a hat, a rabbit out of a hat trick. He needs to do something, and so he's really not in the position to sort of negotiate against Nancy's 2.2. So what should the president do is what I want to focus on right now. First, stimulus check, $1,200. Married couples, $2,400. Nancy will agree to it. It's in Nancy's proposal. Dependents, $1,200, Mr. President. Purple power, do your thing. $1,200. What are we doing with this $500 dependent? Nancy, what are you doing with the $500 dependent? It doesn't cost any more to give $1,200. Stop the $500. What is this silliness? Someone who appears on someone else's tax return as a dependent, that's just a tax decision they made. Why are you penalizing them and making them $500 and $1,200? Every dependent should be $1,200. It should be a family of 5, $6,000, and it should not be taken out for child support or taxes or debt collections. Now, it should also have a second check. That's what the Problem Solvers had. The Problem Solvers bill calls for a second check, a check to come in the spring. Now, I don't really want Steve Mnuchin or Nancy to say, I'll get to it later, I will do it if so warranted. No, we have been told that fake promise before. Get the Problem Solvers thing back in there, thank you. Okay, next, FPUC. Do the Problem Solvers FPUC, Steve and Nancy. I mean, come on. Steve, you're at $400. You said you're doing the Problem Solvers bill. You're not doing the Problem Solvers bill. Problem Solvers bill is $450 for 8 weeks. and $600 for 5 weeks. Your bill, your proposal, Steve, is $400 a week. Well, that's not the problem solver's bill. That's less. Nancy, you need to move. You've been at that stupid $600 as long as you've had that same haircut. It's time to move, Nancy. No one wants to pay $600, and you will kill a deal on that $600. Now, here's how you get around it, Nancy. Retroactive. If you're so strung up on the $600, do retroactive to late July. Why are you doing retroactive, Nancy, to September 5th? Did something happen on September 5th? Did Revlon come out with a new color? I mean, what happened on September 5th, Nancy? It needs to be retroactive to when FPUC expired. Now, if you do 450 and 600, Nancy, and you do retroactive to late July, suddenly you gave your constituents August. You gave them about 6 more weeks of benefits. 6 more weeks at 450 is what, $2,400? Okay, Nancy, you've made it up, and then you take it all the way to what? If you want to end it at January 31st, you've made it up. You've made the concession. State and local, Steve and Nancy, this is just silliness. State and local, Nancy, this is just silliness. You're at 450. Steve, you're at 250. Just say 350 and call it a day. Mark Meadows has already said you would do 300. I don't know why you're at 2 something, Steve. Do 300, but put guardrails. Put guardrails on the side, so that ultimately it says you cannot use this money. You can only use this money for COVID-19 issues. It's as simple as that. I mean, I don't know why you can't have guardrail issues in it. If Nancy doesn't want to have guardrail issues in it, then, Now, as we sit here today, I fully believe the stimulus check should be $2,000. I fully believe that there should be multiple stimulus checks. I fully believe that this stimulus package for October is not a stimulus package for November. There needs to be another stimulus package right away. I mean, literally right away, within 4 weeks, because it takes you about 8 weeks to get this done, folks. And that's what's so important. Hazard pay. Nancy, put hazard pay back in there. Steve, put hazard pay in there. Steve and Nancy, do the Romney plan. The Romney plan, please. The Romney plan is absolutely categorically incredible. It's an additional sum of funds. Don't be throwing money at salary raises. Throw money at the frontline workers. You said you need to take care of the America's heroes, Nancy. You're not. You're not giving them a single darn penny. No one's going to buy this fake narrative. So do the Romney plan, Nancy. I feel like I'm talking like Mike Pence this morning. I'm like that smooth, yeah. Nancy, can you do the hazard pay, Nance? The hazard pay of Mitt Romney was incredible. It would require the employer to pay the worker hazard pay based upon a fixed calculation. The employer would be required to get the money from the federal government, would be required to pay the employee, and would be paid to do this. This is all incredible. Next, EIDL grants. Come on. I know there's a lot of crazy stuff out there that there's a $50,000 EIDL grant. Well, let's just get the $10,000 EIDL grant going, Nance. Let's take the cap off of SBA for EIDL loans. Let's make sure that people did not get their EIDL grants before get their EIDL grants now. There's thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of viewers of this channel who applied in June and have never seen their EIDL grant, have never seen their application process. Javita, I can bring back the scars now that it's colder. Now that it's colder and the bugs are gone and it's dark and it's foggy, I can bring back the scars. So get ready, Javita. If you don't start paying the money, the scars are coming back. PPP is in the plans for both of them, thank God. EIDL loan, thank God. There's some what do you call it? Grants from CDC, good. Rent aid, good. Eviction moratoriums and mortgage forbearance, good. But what else is better than that? Purple Power delegates. If you stayed to the 17-minute mark, you certainly deserve to be a Purple Power delegate. So now I'm going to explain to you how we're going to do this. Purple Power delegates will be a grassroots efforts. So it won't be something that I'm inherently organizing. It's not going to be something that I'm overseeing. So if you have a question for where is this delegate, where is that delegate, don't send the message to me because it's going to be grassroots. The way we're going to do it is the following. If you want to be I'm going to give Texas as an example. If you want to be a Purple Power delegate in Texas, and there can be more than one, there can be as many as you want to have, this would be a person who wants to help people find grants in their state based upon CARES Act 1 money, going on Google News and typing in grant plus city plus state, because maybe you're not tech savvy and the delegate is and can search that for you and say, oh yeah, I've already searched it for someone else yesterday. I found this. I found something for rent. I found something for food. I found something for housing. I found something for hazard pay. Here's a link. That's the first purpose for a delegate. The next purpose for a delegate is someone that can assist you for questions about unemployment assistance or PUA. Now, ultimately, a delegate doesn't have to be able to do everything, you know. This is not like Nancy Pelosi, who's absolutely able to do everything, including being a doctor of mental health. I still can't believe that quote. A delegate does not have to be able to do anything. All the delegate has to be able to do is help. If you want to help other people in whatever way you want to do it, I don't care how it is. It's up to you because it's ultimately your grassroots effort. This is how you do it. 1, you go to Twitter. 2, you have a Twitter account. 3, when you tweet, add the following hashtag after your tweets. If you want to be a delegate for Texas, add the hashtag P, as in purple, T, X. Done. So if a person wants to find a delegate in Texas to help them, all they have to do is to go onto Twitter and look for the hashtag PTX. Also, you have to also add the hashtag LALATE. So a person will go on Twitter and look for a hashtag PTX, and if it comes up with a person who also has the hashtag LALATE in it, then we know that that is a Purple Power delegate in Texas. Let's give another example. Okay, how about North Carolina? Okay, I need to see if there's I need some assistance on my UI application in North Carolina. Where can I find a Purple Power person in North Carolina to help me? Go on Twitter, go into the search bar at the top, type in hashtag PNC space hashtag LLA and see what comes up. And ultimately, you'll start seeing you'll see one or more people using that hashtag. That is a person who wants to help you as part of the Purple Power family out of North Carolina. It's as simple as that. For you to become a delegate, all you have to do is start using the hashtag for your respective state. So if you're in California, PCA. If you're in New York, PNY. And also add the hashtag LALATE after it. And so when people go onto Twitter and search for you, they can find you. Isn't that simple? It's very simple. It's all there. And ultimately, some things I need to remind you about, but they're always Captain Obvious, but I gotta remind you as well. Don't put financial information on public websites. Keep all disclosures about anything that's private or security related in private. So DM people, DM them, send them private messages, and they are there to help, and you will hopefully help them as well. Welcome to Purple Power Delegates. Go to the front channel, subscribe because this is a great morning. It's getting even better by the hour. Also like this video. Coming up next is 28 at about 12 a.m. Well, 12 p.m. I always say that wrong. 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay valid for more.